What if the very thing you fear, the uncertainty, the change, the movement of life, is not here to break you, but to carry you somewhere you've been resisting for far too long? We often live as if life were something we could pause, something we could grip tightly in our hands and keep exactly as it is. We imagine that if we just try hard enough, if we plan perfectly or cling fiercely enough to what we know, we can make the world stop moving for a moment. But pause for a second. Listen. Feel your breath. Notice how, even when you try to be completely still, something in you keeps flowing. Your heart beats without permission. Your lungs rise and fall like tides. Your thoughts drift like clouds across a vast inner sky. And time, regardless of your requests, moves forward. Life does not wait. Life does not freeze. Life flows, with or without your consent. Alan Watts often said that the illusion of the separate, controlling self is the root of our anxiety. We imagine ourselves to be little captains navigating an unpredictable sea, desperately tightening our grip on the wheel. But the truth is far softer, far more mysterious. You are not the sailor. You are the sea. You are not the observer of the flow. You are the flow itself, momentarily expressing itself in human form. So why do we feel stuck? Why do we feel like we're standing still while the world rushes past? It's because we mistake psychological resistance for stability. We confuse tension with strength. We cling to familiarity not because it's right, but because the unknown frightens us. And yet, even while you cling, even while you pretend not to move, life quietly continues its dance around you. Relationships change shape. Your body ages molecule by molecule. The world spins, the seasons turn, the cells in your skin renew themselves without your command. Everything shifts with infinite patience, waiting for you to notice that movement is not the enemy. It is the very essence of being alive. The irony is that we spend so much energy resisting change, not realizing that resistance itself creates the suffering. Imagine trying to stop a river with your hands. You'll only exhaust yourself. But if you lower your hands, if you allow the current to move as it wishes, something miraculous happens. The water carries you. It supports you. It shows you that surrender is not defeat. It is alignment. When you stop fighting life's natural rhythm, a quiet understanding begins to surface. You were never meant to be a fixed shape. You were born to move, evolve, expand, dissolve, and emerge again. Life flows even when you stand still, and when you finally relax into that truth, you discover something profoundly relieving. We often imagine that change is something that interrupts the stability of our lives, as if life were meant to be a calm, predictable stage, and everything unexpected were an intruder breaking the script. But if you look closely at nature, at the body, at the mind, you begin to recognize a deeper truth. Change is not the exception. It is the rule. It is the architecture of existence. Nothing in the natural world remains static for even a moment. A leaf does not cling to its summer color out of loyalty. It reds, yellows, falls, and becomes part of the soil that feeds another season. A wave does not apologize for collapsing. Its collapse is what allows the next wave to rise. Even a mountain, which looks eternal from a distance, dissolves grain by grain, reshaped by wind and rain, eventually returning to the same earth from which it came. Alan Watts often reminded us that life is a process, not a thing. There is no moment in which the world or you stay completely the same. Your body is constantly renewing itself. Millions of cells die and are replaced every second. Your thoughts change, your emotions shift, your desires evolve. Even your idea of who you are transforms silently over the years. So why then do we fear change as if it were some unnatural intruder? Because we want the illusion of solid ground. We want something to hold, a fixed point to anchor our identity. The mind longs for predictability, for patterns it can depend on. But the universe is far wiser, far more fluid. It refuses to be frozen because stillness, true stillness, is another form of death. Life's brilliance lies precisely in its motion. When people say, "I wish things would stay the same," what they are really wishing for is the impossible. They are asking a flame not to flicker, a cloud not to drift, a river not to flow. To live is to change. To resist this is to resist life itself. There is a quiet peace that comes when you stop treating change as a disruption and start seeing it as the natural unfolding of everything. You begin to understand that what leaves you makes room for what arrives. What ends gives birth to what begins. And what falls apart only reveals what was waiting underneath. Change is not attacking you. Change is not punishing you. Change is simply revealing the next shape of your life. And when you tune into this rhythm, when you allow the seasons of your inner world to move just as freely as the seasons outside, you discover something profound. The world is not chaotic. It is harmonious in a way too vast for the anxious mind to grasp. It is only when we cling to permanence that we feel pain. Let life be what it is, an ever-moving, ever-transforming dance, and suddenly the unknown stops being frightening. It becomes alive, vibrant, and full of possibility. Change is not a mistake. Change is the melody of existence. We tend to believe that suffering comes from the events in our lives, the unexpected changes, the losses, the disruptions, the moments when things don't go the way we imagined. But if you look inward with honesty and clarity, you'll notice something subtle yet profound. The pain rarely comes from the change itself. It comes from our refusal to let life move as it naturally does. Resistance is the silent tension we carry inside us when we try to make the world conform to the picture we hold in our minds. We want our relationships to stay as they were. We want our plans to unfold exactly as we predicted. We want our identity to remain intact, consistent, familiar. So when life shifts, even gently, we tighten, we cling, we fight. And it is this inner contraction that hurts. Alan Watts often spoke about the futility of trying to grasp water. The harder you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. Life behaves the same way. When you cling to what must change, you create a kind of friction between your expectations and reality. That friction is suffering. Imagine holding a rope that is being pulled away from you. If you cling tightly, the rope burns your hands. If you let go, the pain stops instantly, not because the situation changed, but because your relationship to it did. Suffering is not a punishment. It is a message. It tells you where you are resisting the natural movement of life. The mind, of course, wants security. It wants certainty. It wants guarantees. But life does not offer guarantees. It offers flow. It offers movement. And when we demand stability from something that is by nature fluid, we create an impossible contradiction. Think of emotions. An emotion itself is never the enemy. It rises, peaks, and fades like a wave. Anger comes and goes. Sadness arrives and dissolves. Fear expands and then retreats. But when we cling to an emotion, when we replay it, analyze it, justify it, or push it away, we trap it inside us. What should have passed through becomes stuck, and that stuckness becomes suffering. Resistance can also take the form of denial, pretending things are still the way they used to be, refusing to acknowledge the truth of what is changing. But denial only delays the flow. Life will move anyway, with or without your permission. There is a gentle freedom that comes when you stop fighting the currents of existence. You begin to see that you don't need to control everything to be safe. You don't need to hold on to the past to feel whole. You don't need to force the future to feel secure. When you release the need to resist, you notice something extraordinary. The pain softens. The world doesn't feel as heavy. Decisions become clearer. Emotions pass gracefully through you, like wind moving through an open window. Suffering doesn't ask you to be stronger. It asks you to be softer, to let go instead of holding tight, to trust instead of controlling, to feel instead of suppressing. When you allow life to flow without resistance, you discover that peace was never something you had to